this out. It should say we're live because it says, let me see, broadcast is on. What am I missing? There we go. It was just a little bit delay. All right. Good evening, everybody. I want to take a moment to thank you all for tuning in. Tonight's guest is none other than the creator of Brutus, Mr. Donal Delay. All links are in the description. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Good evening, Donal. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really excited about these interviews, but it's not about me. I could talk forever, but I'm really excited about being able to do these interviews. I'm really excited about giving the artists a open forum to speak and express themselves. And speaking of that, let me move this over to this side. Let me find my little chat box thingy to see who's online. And let me put this here and here so I can see what's going on because I have difficulties keeping up. So we're going to share my screen to your Indiegogo. All right. No, that's not yours. That's Detective Dead. Oh, what a shameless plug.
Yeah, Back Detective Dead, too.
Yeah,
that's a
Back
pretty good looking book.
Dead. Speaking of Detective Dead, well, I made this mistake. I saw that you were on a lot of the stretch goals. It's like some of the stretch goals for Detective Dead or some of your artwork. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, now that I'm back on track. So, Donal, pretend I'm not a fan nor a current backer. Hype me up on your book. Why should we, the fans, invest in Brutus the Badass #1?
Because Brutus the Badass is we're bringing machismo and masculinity back to comics the way they used to be in the 90s. Just big dudes that actually look like they have muscles, women that look like women, guns, violence, stuff that comics doesn't really do right now because everything's, pretty much a political agenda. We're putting fun, adventure back into comics. And it's just pure escapism about a psychobilly bounty hunter and his homicidal robot sidekick just going on adventures.
That sounds good. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I've been looking forward to something like this for a while. I remember the old books. I'm 49, so I've been reading comics on and off for a long time. I stopped pretty much like everybody else in my era around the 90s, right after the 90s, because of I don't know, the narrative changed, and then it was kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
And I like to play video games, so I'm liking your book to a video game that's just mindless fun and violence. You do what you do on the game. You get your book, you get your escapism on, you enjoy it, you put it down, and you wait for the next book.
That's exactly it. Each book is going to be like a self-contained story in a way, but it's also going to build, if that makes sense.
Yep.
It's kind of like the European model. You'll be able to just read each book, and that'll be it, and the story will end. And you pick up the next book, and it'll kind of pick up where it left off, but you won't need to read it in order to understand what's going on. And it builds on the characters, and it builds on the story. And this is like Brutus the Badass is just my love letter to the comics that got me into reading them, and that built up that passion and that fire to want to go to the comic shop every Wednesday. They're just fun and bombastic art like Rob Liefeld and Chappie Ape and Stephen Platt, books like Pit, Lobo. Lobo is a huge influence on this book.
That was actually a comment made by the comic book ASM artist. He said very Lobo inspired.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing we're shooting for here. That's just kind of raunchy humor. Just this badass dude just punching somebody for no reason because he needs a car, and just having fun with it.
Now, kids, I want to make a disclaimer. Remember, we are all adults. Just because you read the book doesn't mean you need to go around punching people in the face. I don't want someone blaming Brutus for violence. I think books, movies, and and those kind of things are just made for entertainment, you
Oh
know,
yeah. Yeah.
and that's their value, and that's where they should be left. So I want to get into your book because of what we were talking earlier. There was an announcement today. Your team has changed the amounts needed to reach the stretch goals. Can you walk me through that?
Um. Yeah. We we weren't really sure about what to set the stretch goals at, so we kind of get we did them by tens. You know, like everybody else. We were kind of basing it on what everybody else was doing, kind of using their model. And but we felt like $30,000 was a little high to go for something as simple as square binding. So we're gonna shoot for 18, not 18, 15 for that one,
Right.
which is less than $1,000 away. So that's pretty cool, and it's gonna have a nice square bound spine to be able to fit on people's bookshelves. And then after that, it's the 20,000 is we hire a high quality colorist to help speed the production along and get the book to people sooner. Because I can color it myself, but I'm a very slow colorist. And it would just take a little longer for me to do it. Like one page takes me 3 days to color, as opposed to one page 4 pages taking one day for someone to color.
Right.
And then we just kind of updated the amounts on the rest of the stretch goals to fit that. But
Awesome.
I'm going to be going back in and changing uh, two of them. Like right now, $30,000 is trading cards. I'm going to make that 40. I'm going to make the $30,000 stretch goal is going to be 10 more pages, and that's including a 5-page short story from Nasser and Andrew Huerta.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
going to be 30 instead of 40 now. So that'd be closer to get.
Nice. All right. Let me. So let's talk about your tiers, and then we're going to show off some of your artwork,
Oh,
and then we'll move on with the rest of the questions. So
mm-hmm,
you have the $50 tier, which is a a book plus a 6x9 drawing.
mm-hmm.
And speaking of drawings, we're going to talk about Donald does commissions, y'all. Okay, we're going to talk about that later. I got one of his commissions that should be coming in shortly.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
going to be sending that out tomorrow.
I am stoked. I showed it off to Critias on our live broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Off that little Twitter picture you sent me.
Yeah.
With mostly your fingers in the way. But I digress.
Well, I don't have a scanner, so I had to take a
You
photo.
have to improvise. I got it. I'm not mad. Not mad at all. I just have to poke fun at you a little bit.
Yeah, that's the good. It's all good.
So you got an $8 digital copy, which I think is pretty decently priced. How many
Mm-hmm.
pages in this book, by the way?
There's 48 pages.
All right, $8 digital copy, 48 pages. That's not bad. It's not bad. Okay,
Yeah.
so $25 gets you Brutus Badass number one.
Yep.
All
And
right.
that's even though it says plus shipping on the perks, shipping is already included in the price. So if you in the U.S., so if you go there and you buy the book, um, where it says shipping, it'll say $0. So I've had
Awesome.
some people comment on that. We can't take the plus shipping out of the perk description,
Right.
but I tried to put it. It's all the way at the bottom, but I tried to put it in the story area that shipping was free for the U.S.
Nice, nice, nice. And then $40 gets you two copies of Brutus number one.
Mm-hmm.
$50. See, I said this with Critias and I said it with Mike Miller. I love this perk right here. Anything that says support the troops. I love it. I don't know. I'm a 13-year Army veteran, so it touches me. It
Yeah.
touches me.
Thank you for your service, man.
No, hey, that's
Appreciate
what
it.
we did. We signed up and we did what we had to do. We don't. It's not a big deal. But I
It,
appreciate it.
it is to me,
Um,
as somebody who's an army brat who wasn't able to serve. I appreciate everybody who does.
thank you. You're more than welcome. And on behalf of my brothers and sisters, you are definitely more than welcome. Support the troops. So talk to me about this. I think Mike Miller was the first one to do it. Did you take a page out of his book? Or like you said, well, I guess maybe it's because you are a military brat and you have a connection. I'm not going to assume anything. Go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, it was him and Diversity in Comics. You know how he mails books to his buddy who ships out overseas.
Mhm.
It was those two that kind of inspired it. When I saw that Mike, I was like, that would be great if I could get this book to the troops. And Mike Miller had a tier for it, and that was a pretty good idea. And it's basically buy two, get one free. You're buying two books for the military, and then you're getting one for free.
So if you buy this perk and you do an act of selfless service, you will be rewarded with a free book.
Yeah, and the
So yeah,
troops will get two books.
that's awesome. And all these books are signed, right?
Yep, they will all be signed by me.
This is one of the great things about Comicsgate, folks. All the books are signed by the artist. Like, where else would you get something like that? You know,
You'd
that
have
I
to
think.
you'd have to
Mhm,
spend hundreds of dollars to go to a convention to get a book signed.
indeed, I know. I've been through a couple of them. All right, $70. You get a signed book with an original 6x9 head drawing of Brutus and your name on a dedicated thank you page. Items include Brutus number one, 6x9 drawing, and your name on a thank you page. Is that at the back of the book, beginning of the book, middle of the book?
The thank you page,
Yes, sir.
we're not entirely sure where we're going to put that yet. It may be like the inside back cover
Okay.
or the inside front cover. We're not sure. We want it someplace where it's definitely noticeable. It's either at the beginning or the end. Definitely not in the middle where it's going to interrupt the story flow. Because I hate it when ads in comics do that.
Yeah. And there's
But
a
it
lot of
definitely,
ads in comics nowadays.
yeah.
And that's another thing, folks. Comicsgate books don't have ads.
Nope.
All right. This is the narcissist tier, 150. Two books,
Should have
a
put.
likeness in the book, meaning they're going to draw what seems to be you in the book. Eight, I think there were 8 slots and 8 were claimed. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Y'all going to see my face in this book.
There's no limit on this one.
Oh, there's no limit? Okay.
No, man,
Awesome.
we got a nice couple of crowd scenes. I mean, there's a scene that takes place in a bar and one that takes place in a stadium that has a couple of close-ups of people just cheering.
Uh-huh.
So there's no limit. We can hopefully it's not going to be like 500 people getting that tier, but we could fit in like 30 to 40 people,
Nice. Nice.
and it's
Don't
not
draw
going to
me
be
face
some
down on a table, okay? That's
Joey
cheating.
Joey getting kicked in the face.
Hey, that's fine. I'll
Let's put
take that.
a
I'll take that.
let's put a little arrow that says E Ortiz.
Now that you know what, I'm good with that. I mean, supporting your book was something I wanted to do when I first heard of the concept. So I was more than happy.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate every dollar that everybody puts into backing this, because there are some people that have gone around complaining that the prices are too high, but I appreciate every dollar because every single dollar is going to help to fund the next book. It's going to get me started on drawing and paying the colorist for book two, and that's going to be 72 pages, and I'm going to have it complete before we start the campaign so that when the campaign's over, it'll be able to ship sooner. And that book is going to be cheaper. So it's going to be like 72 pages for, I don't know, it might be like $15 with shipping.
Nice. So
Don't don't quote me on that price though, because Nasser might kill me.
I'm not gonna quote you, but it's live and on the air, and it's gonna be recorded. Uh, you want me
Well,
to just snitch
if
it
it
out?
changes, blame Nasser.
I will definitely blame. Hey, anything I can blame on Nasser, I sure do. I try to give that boy as much um, hellfire as I can on the chats, just because he's a young
Everybody
kid,
does.
and he
Yeah.
seems to take it well. You're 300. Book an original page. Okay, you're a digital artist, so explain the original page concept.
Yeah, this is going to be extremely rare because it says there are 10 of these, and the total amount that I will draw is 10 if all 10 are backed. So if right now it's at 2, that means I'm only drawing 2 original pages for Brutus the Badass. So they're going to be the only 2 pages in existence.
So you heard this. You heard this right here, ladies and gentlemen. $300. Now, if you go to a
Yep.
convention and you try to buy an original piece of artwork, you're gonna be paying, depending on the artist, more than that on some artists. You can get
Mm-hmm.
pencils for cheaper, but pencils and inks, I seen 2,000, 3,000, 500, 800. I was like, wow, this is a little rich for my blood. Um,
Oh yeah. And
that's
the cheaper pages, when you go and see the cheaper ones that are like $200, those are pages that are, they don't really have the main character on them. These are going to
right.
be like big, like action packed, splashy kind of pages where the character is kind of in your face. Like because right now I know that I have 2 splash pages that feature the main characters, and I can draw those and send those out to the 2 people that I've backed so far. But one of my philosophies when drawing is to find that money shot, that good shot that you can flip to any page and you go, that is cool, and it makes you pick up a book, right?
Right.
Well, I one of the pages that I pick, like if more people back this tier, it will be something cool. It's not going to be a random scene with nobody characters. Like it's not going to be a page with a crowd shot of just random aliens. It's going to be a page with a cool shot of Brutus or a cool shot of the antagonist.
Donald, Bitfighter0101 just backed your book.
Sweet, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Um, just like that, because he wants to see you draw me getting kicked in the face. So this is a page done by the colorist you're hoping to hire, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me get back here.
Brutus #1, the new cover.
Oh, the cover? No, no, that's by Kelsey Shannon.
Oh, that's by Kelsey Shannon. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the great Kelsey Shannon. He did the cover. He colored that. Tried to make it look like Simon Bisley painted it, and man, he smashed it.
Yeah,
It's
this
so
is a
good.
it's a beautiful looking cover. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm so happy with that cover that it replaced a picture of my family on the day my son was born as my home screen.
Your wife is gonna kill you later.
And she's like, "What happened to our picture?" He's like, "You see that cover?" Like,
Speaking of wives, I showed your. I said, baby, I'm gonna get to interview Donald Delay, man. He's a pro. He's a really good guy. I talk to him on Twitter all the time, and he's gonna allow me to interview him. And so I showed him your artwork, and I remember a conversation that you had earlier, and she was like, "What happened to his legs?" I said, "Donald said he skipped leg day."
yeah, yeah.
So
Brutus only believes in one workout for your lower half.
so yeah, and so here's another. This is what Donald is talking about. Action shots. Explain it away, sir.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like that page is digital, but it's going to be pages like that where the character is just in your face. Big splashy pages. Like if you scroll down, like there's another one.
Yeah, someone on the internet took this page and made it all about ham and pineapple pizza. No names mentioned. It was kind of funny. And then we got here.
Yeah, see, like that page that has a big splashy shot, but it won't be something like that I draw original to send to somebody. Like to me, that's a cool shot, but you barely get to see the main character in it.
Right. Let me find my mouse again. This one hasn't been colored yet. It's a black and white.
Yeah, and a page like that's something I might send to somebody.
Nice. Talk to me about Brutus and
And
his
there's
V8.
the ride.
his space polluter.
Yeah, yeah, I call that the hopper.
And then here's another. This is the original cover, if I'm not mistaken.
That's just like a promo.
Promo. All right.
Yeah, it's just to show the characters.
All right. I'm gonna stop sharing that for now. And so Brutus, I almost called Donald Brutus. I was like, so Brutus. So Donald. Speaking of your team, you mentioned Nasser.
Hmm.
Excuse me, and you mentioned Andrew Huerta might be joining later on. Um,
Hmm.
Talk to me about working with Nasser. And what role does he play in this particular book or venture?
Andrew Huerta.
No, Nasser.
Oh, Nasser's writing it. He's coming up with pretty much everything about the characters. Like I came up with a design and said, let's make him a bounty hunter who has no memory of his past. And I just like gave the basic description of his past and his attitude, and then Nasser kind of ran with it.
Nice.
And
That was
he,
what.
he's built some good personalities.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. My question was going to be if did you because I know you started writing the book. And my question was going to be did you turn over the reins completely to Nasser, which seems like you did.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Um, you kind of covered this earlier, but it's on my line. So, who inspires or has inspired your art style?
Oh, there's been so many, man. Let's see, Simon Bisley is a big inspiration. Rob Liefeld, Stephen Platt, Dale Keown. A lot of those early image guys were big inspirations for my work. Andrew Huerta has definitely jumped up that list in the last probably 7 years. Um, he's been a huge influence. You can see some of it in those pages. Like I straight up stole how he draws like lens flares on Brutus's belt. Jason Pearson, Stuart Immonen on Next Wave. He was a big inspiration for this too.
Nice. Seems like you have a very good list there.
I try.
See, all right, this is something that I want to talk about. I don't know how comfortable or uncomfortable you are, uh, but talk to me about how you wound up being part of Comicsgate. I'm going to put that delicately and then let you expound on how whatever you wish to expound on.
Yeah, I've heard people like talk about diversity in comics for a while, and then and I jumped on that bandwagon of calling him a terrible person and all that, and then I started looking into it. Like, why am I really saying this? I mean, I'm just spreading rumors about a person who may not even be what he said. Because I like to get evidence before I make a judgment on people. And this is one of those times where I just kind of went with the flow because there's a very how to put this there's a very unspoken like fear in comics that you can't say this thing, you can't go against this kind of opinion or you will be ostracized. The wrong thing, what people say. So I spent about 6 months watching his videos as he updated them, watching past videos, checking his Twitter feed, going to like if somebody posted a screenshot of him saying something, I searched for that particular tweet and then found out what the context was or what it was in reference to, things like that. So I dug into the out of context screenshots of tweets. And what I found was that a lot of people were just being offended to be offended and taking a lot of things he said and twisting them to be bigoted or racist or uh, labeling him things that he wasn't even endorsing. And it kind of seemed wrong. And I came out like, with a neutral post. I said, I don't really think this guy's as terrible as people say he is. Um, I went and looked into it, and I didn't think he was racist or misogynist or any of that other crap. And wished him luck on his campaign. It was like completely neutral tweet. It wasn't an endorsement. It was just, hey, you're not an asshole. Good luck in your career. And
Right.
then I got dogpiled for it and blacklisted and ostracized, and my friends basically unpersoned me. Well, fake friends. My real friends stuck around because they know the kind of person that I am.
Right.
But
And
that's about it.
yeah, I started following you on Twitter right around that time. And so I kind of know from what your Twitter feed from that time is exactly kind of had an idea what was going on. I just wanted you to say it in your own words. Now that you've moved over to the Comicsgate and the Comicsgate community, how do you feel the community has embraced you? To me, it seems like they love you, but how do you feel?
Um, I feel great, man. These people in Comicsgate, yeah, they've like complete open arms. It's like we don't care what you believe, man. As long as you're not treating us like dirt, come on, vote for Bernie. Eat pizza without pineapple. No, they don't care. They don't. I can make crude jokes and have dark humor, which is the kind of person that I am. Like I'll make a bad joke and that'll be it, and people would laugh or just be like, no, that was terrible. As opposed to on the other side where they would have, you can't say something like that. You can't make a crude joke or people will jump on you for it.
Right.
I think
And
my wife is in the next room trying to put the kids to bed.
it's fine. It's fine. I don't. I really don't mind on your family, man. And we're gonna get to that in a minute. But no, we talked about the Gomez Cake community as far as the artist and whatnot. But what about the fans? How's your interaction with the fans been? People like
It's been
me and
it's
other
been
people.
sorry, yeah, it's been great. I mean, people have just been welcoming. They've shown their support on Brutus, and they're
Excuse me.
anytime someone like tries to come at me with some BS, they're they've got my back, and they've just been like the entire group of comic skates, the pros and the fans. They've made me feel that excitement for comics again. I've said this on a couple other streams, but the most excited I ever was for comics was when I first got into them around the time Image was forming. That's when I was like really happy to go to the comic shop on Wednesday and pick up something new that was coming out, and I wanted to work for Image Comics, and just that was my dream. But now it's like it faded away, and Comicsgate has brought that passion back because there's no real connection inside the system. But now I'm interacting with the customers, and I'm interacting with people that are going to read the book and potentially read the book. It's not just someone looking at a picture in previews saying, I don't like this. I can interact with the person that says, I don't like this, and be like, why don't you like it? Maybe I can change something about it and try to appeal to that. So it's being in Comicsgate. Even my wife has said, like, this is probably the best decision I've made in the last 5 years
Yeah.
because I
Um,
seem happier. I seem more. What did she say? Enthusiastic about comics. It was something like enthusiastic, like jovial, jolly. So I seem more jolly about making comics.
that's always a great thing when you're able to the job that you do, if you enjoyed it, it's not work anymore.
Hmm.
It's just fun, you know? You're getting paid to have fun.
Yeah, and like you'll see some comic artists online complaining about some of the work that they've got to do, and you make that statement. If you love what you're doing, then it's never then you never have to work a day in your life. And they say, oh, yeah, you kind of do. It's like, well, maybe you're just working on the wrong thing.
Yeah, 'cause
If you're unhappy drawing uh, the Flash or Daredevil, maybe you're just drawing the wrong thing. I'm having a blast drawing Brutus.
Brutus is a fun character to draw. I've tried my hand at him a couple of times. He is definitely a very fun character to get into with that big old chin.
Yeah, you can just go crazy.
So I'm and then my these three questions kind of piggyback off of each other and kind of like we talked about earlier. So how tell me how it is to collaborate with the rest of the comics gate artists because like I mentioned on Critia's page, one of the stretch goals was to get you to do some artwork, and you've offered that to other. I don't know how many. I'm gonna let you tell them that because I don't want to lie, but I believe you've offered it before to other creators. So tell me how that experience is because if you're working for Image or Marvel or DC, I don't think you'll be able to do something like that. I could be wrong. I've never been an artist in any level, let alone professional. But set me straight.
Well, if you're working for Marvel and DC, you can unless you have an exclusive contract. If you're exclusive, then you can't draw any other characters but that company's. Like Ryan Stegman, he's exclusive. He's not allowed to draw a cover for Batman. He can do commissions, but he can't do an official cover. At Image, you're a freelancer, so you can do any cover you want. But I don't remember telling Critias I would do something for a stretch goal.
You might want to look at his page.
No, it's all good. Um, I just maybe I have a bad memory, or maybe he's trying to squeeze one out of me. But no, I'll do it. Yeah, I'm down. If
Yeah.
I already agreed to it, then I forgot. If I didn't, then I'm down for it.
And my next question is as an independent creator, now that you're working for yourself, you're your own boss, you're making your own independent property, um, and you're promoting full time your book. How do you balance, your work life, your family life, professional life?
Oh, I just ignore my family. Yeah, I put my kids in a cage and I just sit and tweet all day. No, no, it's my wife works 12-hour shifts, so um, I try to spend what time with her I can when she gets home, or on days that I'm not working. I work a specific schedule so that I can like, have like breakfast and lunch and dinner with her, and have some family time in the evening. And when I'm just hanging out with my kids while she's working, I do what I can. I play with them. They're at that age where they just kind of get bored of me, so I just sit on the floor or lay on the floor and tweet and promote until they come running back to play.
Right, right.
Yeah, because one of them is 8 months old now, and he just crawls around randomly. We'll play for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then he'll crawl over to a bunch of toys or chase the dog. My daughter will go run off and play with her dolls.
Here's the
You know,
question that every father wants to ask. I'm sorry I interrupted. Have you stepped on any Legos lately?
my God, man, we don't have Legos, but we have these they're not like official Legos. There's these big, obnoxiously sized ones. Like the
Right.
smallest one is probably an inch by 2 inches with a dime sized pegs sticking out. I've stepped on those quite a few times, but she has these little um these little figures of these little plastic statue kind of things of like dinosaurs and cows and pigs, and those things are sharp, man. Like I would probably rather step on Legos than those stupid little figures.
Hey, I had three daughters and a son, and I've stepped on quite a lot of stuff that have almost made me lose religion a few times.
My daughter hears some choice words when I randomly step on one of those little figurines.
Yeah, it's fun part being a parent. Hey,
Yeah.
Donald. So here's the last question, and everybody, well, the few people that are here, and anybody else that may listen. So, what's up with that stretch goal for the ham and pineapple pizza?
Good lord. Well, it got moved to 60,000. It used to be 100,000. It got moved to 60,000 because somebody was on the fence about backing Brutus, and
Oh,
I was like, "What would it take?" And he said, "Well, you could eat that pineapple pizza." I said, "What if I lowered the stretch goal to 60?" And he said, "Okay," and backed it. So now it's even more of a threat, and I'm not looking forward to it, man. I really hate pineapple pizza. I'm okay with like ham on pizza. It's just the smell of baked pineapple mixing with the smell of cheese and sauce and the taste and texture of the baked pineapple because it's got like when you bite into it, part of it is kind of crusty,
right.
but then it's still squishy, and then the part that's like been buried in the cheese and the sauce that's still very squishy, and it's just uh, it's like I can't even, man. When my wife orders one of those things, I gotta get my own pizza and leave the room.
Let me ask you something. Is it a texture thing or a taste thing? Because it seems to me that it's more of a texture thing than a taste thing.
It's both. It's everything. It's like texture, taste, and smell. The mixture of those aromas is not pleasing. Like it smells like hobo feet.
Now,
So
for those,
it
I'm
makes me
sorry, go ahead.
gag when I get ready to eat it, and then I feel like puking when I actually take a bite. I've had one before, and that was the worst decision I ever made.
Uh, so, so for those of you that do not follow Donald on Twitter, his link is his Twitter is on the description. Some of us have really wanted to push the stretch goal for Donald to go ahead and have that pineapple pizza. It started at 100,000, it's down to 60,000. Ladies and gentlemen, make it happen. I will live stream it on this show. I will pay for the pineapple pizza on whatever pizza place he likes and Grubhub it to him so we can make this happen.
Well, part of the deal is that I will be live streaming me eating it and taking shots for every single slice I eat,
Oh wow, that this is
and
gonna be fun.
like I'm going to live stream completely everything, including all the gagging and vomiting that comes with it.
Well, hopefully, it won't get that extreme. But I'm sorry. There's got to be every campaign has a fun gimmick. You know what I mean? And for yours, it
Mm-hmm.
just happens to be pineapple pizza. I can't help it. You know, we have to see that happen, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not backed this book, please back this book. I would love to see Donald, not because of mean hardness, heart. You know, I just would like to see it happen, just to see it happen. You know, and I think that would be an awesome thing. And oh yeah, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you like what we're talking about. I'm pretty much gone through any questions. If anybody on the chat has anything they want to ask, just at me or at Donald, so he can answer. We went through our questions pretty quick. It was actually a very awesome interview. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your life and your day from your kids, your family, and your work to have to sit down with me, two guys just talking about comics and pizza.
I
Critias has
appreciate
a
you having me
question.
on. Oh no.
Go ahead, Critias. He says he has a question, then he doesn't ask. Thank you, JP4. I appreciate that. This is only my second interview ever. My first one was with Critias, and it did not start off good. But I'm learning as I go along. Um, okay. Ask Donald if he checks his tweets with me and sees that he owes me a cover. I get it for free.
Check my tweets.
Apparently, he tweeted you about this, and if you don't, if there indeed is a tweet thread about it, then you have to do the cover for free. If I'm understanding this correctly.
Hmm. I'm probably gonna believe him because I have a really terrible memory.
Uh-oh. JP4 said he
Let's
does. I
see.
have that live. I have that in a live stream with them. Okay.
Oh, maybe that's where it was.
There you go. There you go. They're gonna hold you to this now.
Hey, I'll
Critias is
do it anyways.
Critias is super happy. He's laughing out loud. Oh, the comic book SN art. You know what? I would love to have you
Oh,
on. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Donald. Um, I'm available Wednesdays all day till 7 because I do go to Bible study on Wednesdays. Monday through Friday, anytime after 9 because I do individual Bible study at night from 9 to 10. I have a full time job, so I don't get home till 5. But if you hit me on Twitter, if you have me on the Twitter, or I have a Facebook, it's the same as my YouTube, Ortiz Arts. You hit me up, I will be more than happy to have you on. I mean, sure, why not? Anybody that wants to come on and have this style of interview is more than welcome. This helps me out, um, and it's a different way of getting your book out there because the interview is about you, not only your book, but you as a person. Like I told Critias in his interview, I want the people to see this to connect with the person. I want them to understand who Donald DeLay is or whomever I'm interviewing at the time. It's not just about the book and about the sale and about the quick buck, even though it is about the sale eventually in the long run, but someone like Donald DeLay, he's always on Twitter and he acknowledges every single person that adds him on Twitter, whether it's making a joke about pineapple pizza or talking about the book or whatever it may be. Donald will eventually hit you back up, and that's one thing I like about him. That's one thing I like about him. He takes the time out to reach back to you, and that won me over, and that made me want to back his book. And when as soon as it came up, I definitely wanted to back it at the highest tier that I could afford, which was get Jimmy kicked in the face by a comic book character tier. I didn't know that was the tier, but that apparently is the tier. So I'll be looking forward to that. Oh, another way you can help our wonderful friend Mr. Delay is through his commissions.
yeah. You just hit me up at donald.delay@gmail.com. Um, and tell me what you want drawn. I'll be happy to talk to you about prices and anything you want.
Yeah,
You
and
can also you can also just PayPal random money to that same address. Well, no, I won't say no.
right. You can tip jar him money. One thing about Donald, my interaction with Donald. Oh, you want to talk about the trading card? You want a Jimmy trading card, or you just want to talk about the trading card he's making?
No, that was the original $30,000 tier, I believe.
Oh, okay, but
Not tier, but
stretch goal.
stretch goal. Yeah.
So for those of you, everybody in here, I've seen before on chats, and they're pretty avid comic skaters. So y'all know the comic skate. They're doing trading cards on some of their stretch goals. I don't know if they're all going to be uniform. If they're going to match like a certain criteria. Um, is that something, Donald, y'all talked about?
About the trading cards.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, we were gonna do that at 30 grand, but I think, I mean, I haven't really talked to Nasser about this, but I'm thinking we just add that to the extra pages and the Huerta pages as a bonus, and just move that into one stretch goal. So it's like a super packed stretch goal of goodies.
Right. So I think Bitbiter0101, who's a friend of mine, he joined the stream just to support me, and I greatly appreciate him. I think he wanted a Jimmy trading card, but I don't think that I don't think that's gonna happen. I would love trading cards. I used to collect all of them Marvel and Image ones. Well, there you go. But by the depending on the books that you backed and the stretch goals, you will be getting a trading card. They're trying to make a uniform set of trading cards, um, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna be using that same design. We're gonna have something pretty similar, but I like the idea that it kind of looks like the old Marvel Masterworks cards, stuff
Right.
like that with the stats on the back of it and cool things like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up on the chats while you're talking,
Mm.
and I see some things like I'm glad to know they like the way how the personality or how personal these interviews are. They're happy to know that people that you are a real person, and I think what they meant by that is that you're a genuine person, someone that cares about the craft and cares about the customers and cares about the consumers.
Hey, without the consumers, and I really have nothing. Even working inside the system without the customers, I've got nothing.
And
Because
that mhm.
they might say that the comic shops are their customers, but people have to go into those comic shops. So it's just when you're working inside the system, you pretty much have two sets of customers you have to appeal to, and one has to take a chance on buying a lot of your product as a guess. And I would love to get Brutus into stores, and once the first quote unquote storyline is wrapped up, I'm gonna pitch it to a couple of places as like an 8 issue miniseries to see about getting it into stores for just a couple bucks.
Right.
Um, but I love the crowdfunding system because of its zero pipeline. It's not people guessing how many orders and then being stuck with that. It's people knowing they want this book. I really love that system.
So let me ask you a question. Are you thinking about distributing digitally as well through any other digital uh, publishers?
If we can, um, when we send it out to publishers, I'll try to submit it to Comics Press as an 8 issue miniseries for like $2.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's how I bought your first works. I bought it through Amazon. Think they were on sale. The whole thing cost me like $6. All the issues of
cool.
an unset title, and then I went ahead and when the physical came out, I bought it as well, just because I thought that it was a fun book. And I just the way you interacted again, like I said, man, your interactions just with everybody with me, except for Critias, who said somewhere in this chat that you do not answer his DMs.
Yeah, I actually found that message. He's right.
Oh, there you go.
So looks like I'm doing a cover for free.
Well, only if
I
he hits the stretch goal.
I answer that cover. I answer his DMs. What's
I
he
don't
talking
know.
about?
Critias is a bit of a troll sometimes.
He can't be.
He's a bit of a troll. And
I try to answer everybody that I can. I don't know how the people that have like 20,000 followers on Twitter. I don't know how they do it, but I pretty much when I wake up, I scroll back to the last thing that I hit the star on. And even if I don't tweet at somebody, I at least try to favorite the tweet to let them know there's an interaction that I read it and that it made me laugh or something or think.
yeah, the ASMR artist who called out Doug, was it Critias or was it Donald?
Called out Doug on what?
I don't know. He said him calling out Doug and he laughed, and I'm lost. And so you had
Um,
the
I made
D.
a, I made a tweet earlier where somebody asked me if it was gonna be NASA or myself shipping the book. I said I'm gonna be doing the fulfillment. I'm gonna be shipping it, and I wash my hands regularly.
Oh, you wash your hands regularly? Yes, that's very
So
important. That's very, very, very important. So the DJD show says he was very shocked when Donald followed. followed him on Twitter, and Critias says that he loves you.
Aw.
So there you go. There's love. I was surprised when I DM'd Donald about doing a commission, how responsive he was, and and he always kept me up to date on what was going on with it, just to let me know that it was happening. It was a very pleasant and pleasurable experience. I have no complaints. So
Yeah,
that's my
they've been,
customer review of the Donald Delay commission experience.
there have been some setbacks with your commission, but it's finally going out tomorrow. I can say.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not really upset about that. This look, I draw, but I'm not at your level, so I know these things take time. And sometimes things are just out of your hands. And you're a family man. You got the wife, you got the kids, you got the book, you have the publicity, you have a lot of responsibilities. So I'm not gonna be a butthole about it. I don't want to be. I want you and anybody that I deal with in this community. I want you to understand that the things that I do, if I do business with you, is to support you. Um, as long as you're being honest and keeping me on tabs and keeping me on track, you're not gonna hear any complaints from me because I want to support you guys as best as I can. And this is one of the ways I'm doing it right now. I don't have the ability, the skill, the artistic skill right now to like draw something with you or whatever. But if I can sit here like this, do an interview, two guys talking, I think is what I'm going to start calling the segment. Just two folks, two guys talking, you know, despite whatever. And no matter what their political ideologies is, we're just talking about books, about good comics, fun comics,
mhm.
comics that make you believe in heroes, that make you want to escape, that allow you to escape your day-to-day grind and just have fun. Just look at the artwork. I am a fan of the artwork. So when I saw how big and bold Brutus was and how he's just jumping out of the page, I'm like, yes, I got excited. I was like, yes, yes, all the other works are great, but just having a big guy just jumping out of nowhere, like jumping out of the page, and like he's about to tear something up, like, hey, you get in my way if you want to. It's gonna be a bad day for you. That's what made me love Wolverine. That's how I fell in love with Wolverine. Now
Yep.
Wolverine in the comics is like 5'3", 300 pounds. He's a small guy, but he's not a small guy. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
short in stature, but he's a
His
hefty dude.
he's got a giant attitude. But yeah, he's that's that's the type of character I like too.
And when I love Wolverine, I loved Wolverine. Like people don't understand when I say I love Wolverine. People don't understand like how much I love that character. I mean, people do understand because everybody loves Wolverine, but me being a shorty because I'm only 5'7", I was like, this is a hero that I can relate to. He's short, short people are getting represented up in the house. And not only is he short, he's got an attitude, you know, so it's great. Those things are great.
Mm.
Yes, I agree that the BJD show Wolverine is cool. I actually bought that Return of Wolverine #1, and it was not that bad. Zach didn't like it,
Is
but
that with the Steve McNiven art?
yeah, it's somewhere. Oh, where I put it away already. I read it earlier. Um, it's not bad. The art is not bad. You
He's
know,
he's he's definitely doing a Barry Windsor Smith
right, right,
influence on that.
yes,
You go to his Instagram and you can see like before he got the gig and before he announced it, he was practicing in that style. And I think that's pretty sweet. Like that's a good way to homage a run.
and but this is what I hope it stays like that. I hope they don't do like the first 2 or 3 issues and then they hand it off to inferior team to finish out the series.
Mm.
I hope that if they before they do that, I just hope they just end the series. Like, okay, boom, it is a done deal. Critias is saying Wolverine was based off my personality, and the
He's talking
ASMR
about
artist.
he's
Yeah,
talking
go
about the
ahead.
new Wolverine that's got like the Panda Express.
Yeah, the Panda Express
Waiter
uniform.
uniform.
Yeah, that Wolverine is based off of Mike Miller, by the way. So, and I think the comic book ASM artist is talking about me seeing the eye to eye with Wolverine. Maybe, maybe you might be right. Hey, I make no bones about my height. I'm a short guy, but it's okay. I'm gonna tell you the same thing we say in my island. We're a small island with the giant of a heart. So, I take after that. All right, I'm small, but I got a giant heart. That says the hot pink cook. Yeah, and the thing with the new Wolverine and his chef outfit is that he's got heated claws, so he can actually cook your food with his claws and serve it to you. So there is that.
What is that called? Sit down at the grill and somebody's doing like flipping a spatula and cooking
Right,
your
that's the
food.
hibachi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a hibachi chef.
it's a hibachi chef with the claws.
Oh man, that design is so terrible.
But we're hoping that they're using it just to differentiate between the two Wolverines because at the end of the book he opened up the cage and he let out a blue and yellow. I'm colorblind, so I'm assuming it's the original blue and yellow costume. So
Mm,
now there's like two
cool.
Wolverines. So it seems like he's traveling in his own mind. Like he's unlocking uh memories from his own mind, and these memories are walking him through what he's supposed to be. So yeah, there was not a lot of okay. So this is what I told my wife. I said, "Wow." So they made the Return of Wolverine the same as Wolverine. Well, we pick up the same way we've always picked up. Wolverine doesn't know who he is and has no recollection and has lost all his memory. I'm like, okay, you know, that's great, I guess. Um, but you would figure maybe they do something a little different,
Mm.
But like I said, I'm not mad at the book. I kind of enjoyed it. It was all right. We'll stack it up against Brutus and see how if it can hold off the badass.
Don't stack it up to the Larry Hama, Mark Silvestri run though.
Okay, I will try not to embarrass you, sir. Although I think you're doing a great job, um,
Hey,
sir.
you saying I'm doing a great job of embarrassing myself?
No, no, no. So you're doing a great job. You could be doing a great job embarrassing yourself. I don't know. I'm not there. I could be doing a great job of embarrassing myself now, for all I know. No, but no, you're doing a great job on the book, the artwork, man. I'm really digging it. It shows your range because it is not the same as the last book you made.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it's very different, very very different. The last book I made, Death of Love, that was more horror comedy, less action. It does have some action. It's got some, chainsaw. It's got some cupids being chainsawed. But it was more of a love story than anything.
yeah,
And
and
Brutus isn't that at all.
no, not at all. And that's why I say it shows your range because the main character of Death of Love was like a skinny dude. He's the exact opposite of Brutus,
Hmm.
like the exact opposite. He's Mister Nice Guy. And blah blah blah. You know, and oblivious, of course. And it's crazy. It's crazy. The book was fun. I'm not gonna lie. And if I ever meet you in person, you're gonna have to sign it. So just be forewarned. If I ever make it down to I think you're in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Critias said you guys are all in like the same area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm in Tampa with a bunch of people.
yeah.
Curtius is. I can't remember where he's from, but he's between me and Orlando. He's like an hour away.
Okay,
He's pretty.
okay.
He's pretty close.
Yeah, I used to live in Clearwater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to work construction in Tampa a long time ago.
I think I remember you mentioning you lived in Clearwater.
Yep. Yeah, I lived in Clearwater. I think when I was 18, 19, 20, something like that, real young. And I got picked up for a road crew because I needed a job because I had kids to feed. And
Mm-hmm.
so I worked a road crew in Tampa. So I had to drive over the Skyway Bridge from Clearwater to Tampa. I think that's what they still call it, the Skyway Bridge.
Yeah,
That thing's scary.
yeah,
That thing is scary. Like if you don't have here's a tip: if you are ever in Florida and you're going from Clearwater to Tampa and you have to go through the Skyway Bridge, change your tires if it's raining. Your car will slide right back down that bridge like it's nothing.
yeah. When you're driving up it and down it, it might not look it when you're approaching it, but once you get up that incline, it feels like a roller coaster.
It really does. And if it's raining, woo,
Hmm.
yeah, it is not a good feeling. And I'm not talking about ice. I'm talking about just regular rain. If it's raining on that bridge, you will slide.
Yeah, it's the roads
It
here are not that great,
Yeah.
but there's such an incline on that bridge that if you don't have good tires, you'll slide right back into somebody.
Yep. I promise you. I promise you. I've lived it. I have lived it. Yeah, but then after Clearwater doing the construction thing, I joined the army. I was like, man, I'm not gonna do this. I almost got hit somewhere in Tampa. The dude was, I don't know what he was doing, but we put the cones up for the road work, and as I was putting the cones up, um, the dude that was driving 3 cones away from me started hitting those cones, and one of the cones hit me, so I jumped off to the side, and that car just almost, oh man, it would have been ugly for me.
Wow.
Critias says he lives in Beverly Hills, Florida. So there's that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of my near death stories. I got a whole bunch of them. I might tell on other streams because I did a lot of time in the army. There was the whole forest fire one, and there was almost getting hit in Florida. Yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to say the least to be around. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've had Donald Delay for 1 hour, and we've talked about a little bit about everything. I hope that this interview has enlightened you, and I hope that Donald has enjoyed the interview. I hope that you
Oh
all
yeah.
will spread the word. ASMR artist. I will, as soon as I'm done with this, I will pop up my Facebook so we can set something up for you. Um, Let me look you up because the thing that I like to do about these interviews is I don't want to ask the same questions to everybody. I'm talking with Elliot Fernandez, hopefully for next week, and he asked me to shoot him some questions, which I will. But the thing is, I want to tailor the questions to the person. Now, I watch enough of these live streams. See you later, Critius. I watch enough of these live streams where I kind of got an idea of what the personalities are. Got you, as a ASMR artist. I will look you up. That I want to ask certain questions, and I don't want to ask the same questions I ask Critius, even though some of them will overlap. I want to ask questions that I feel will allow the person to speak freely. I want to ask questions that allow Donald to be Donald so y'all can see as much of the real Donald Delay as he's willing to put out there. I did the same thing with Critius. And let's see. Later, Donald, later, Jimmy, later, chat. See you all around. He's still here. And also, I want to allow people to be comfortable enough to say that and experience that. I think, like I told Critius, and this is just Jimmy Philosophy 101, and it could be completely and totally wrong. Um, I feel that if the audience can connect with the artist, and if I can make that happen for the audience and the artist, I feel that the investment in the artist will be um, more long term than just buying a book. Like if they get to know Donald, they know Donald is a family man. He takes care of his kids. He steps on Legos like every other father has, and he's doing his best to take care of his family. And they get to see his personality. They get to see what makes him tick, sense of humor, stuff like that. Then it's like family, like, hey, this dude is a solid dude. Not only will I back him now, but hopefully I'll back him in the future, you know, and that's my goal. I just I really like this community. And I guess I'm going off on a tangent, and I apologize. I really like this community. I like the comic skate community. I like the fact that even though Donald DeLay is a lefty liberal, and I am a conservative Christian, that we can sit down and talk about a book. Not once has politics come up. Not once have we been in a fight or a disagreement. We just want to have fun. We want to have escapes, the escapism that he talks about. We both found that we were finding that common ground, which is so important, in life. You can't be at odds with everybody all the time. And this community allows people to find that common ground. That common ground just happens to be good comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And all walks of life cannot just sit down and say, "Hey, we all like good books." And but I also want to get to know the people around me, because if you don't know the community, then what good is having a community? If you don't know who the artists are, what they stand for, what makes them tick, are they family man? And most of the comic skate guys are, Mike Miller, family man, EVS, family man. Mitch Brightweiser, married, working on having a kid. Last time I heard on one of his streams. Donald DeLay, family man. I believe John Malin's married too. John Malin is married. These guys are are staying within the structure to keep the generations moving forward. They have wholesome values, even though we may not agree on everything politically, and that's important to know. You want to know these things. You want to know what the value system is. What are they? Do they have good value systems, good morals? And I think that's just important. I think that's also a good part of building community. And I apologize if I went off on a tangent after I said I was going to close.
That's all good, man. Amen. Amen.
But that's why I started doing these. And I started with Critias, and the thing with that was I wasn't even sure he was going to say yes. I looked at my wife the other day and I said, "Man, you know what, baby? I want to do an interview with one of these guys for my channel, since my channel is all about my journey, about trying to get into the business." And he's an artist, he's a writer, and he's trying to do things. So maybe he'll allow me to pick his brains, and I'll post it on my YouTube channel, and someone can use it for reference later on, or I could go back into it. And I reached out to Critias, and he said yes, and I was like, whoa, and so we did it. And then he was like, "Hey, if you want to talk to Donald," and you came up because your name was in the stretch goals. And I was like, "Man, I'd love to talk to Donald, man. Donald, he's a great, from what I can tell in a distance through Twitter and and uh and the live stream, I think he would be a blast to have on. He seems like a nice guy. He's got a good sense of humor. He doesn't let a lot of stuff bother him. Well, he does fight with some SJWs on Twitter, but we won't tell anybody. Uh, he doesn't let a lot of things bother him. I think it would be a great interview, And so he reached out to you on my behalf, and you was like, "Hey, let's do it Friday," and I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And here we are, and if I can get Elliot to come on, I think Elliot would be really interesting. I don't think you need to egg Elliot on to talk. I think he has a lot to say, and I like the way he says it. He's very intelligent, measured, and calculated, and he's got his own sense of humor too.
Yeah, he's
And
very smart.
and it doesn't hurt that he always draws, and his art is amazing. You know what I mean? All that makes for great conversation. Great conversation. So hopefully I can get him on. I'll work on my questions for him that I want tailored to him. I was told he has an amazing story to tell. Another thing that I want people to glean off of these streams, I'm getting preachy. Y'all tell me to shut up. Another thing I want people to glean off the streams is this. Every one of these artists was shunned, kicked out of their profession, without a way, without knowing that they were ever going to provide for their family again. That's the bottom. That's dead bottom. And all of them have managed to find a platform to pick themselves back up. And they're striving. They're striving to succeed, right? And if I can document that and put it on YouTube, and it reaches one person, one person who is down and out, who is on the dumps, who is an artist that put down the pen like I did for years, and I'm beginning to pick it up now. If they can see something like this and it affects their life, and they can say, "Hey, Donald DeLay, he got ostracized, he got shunned, he got pushed out of his profession, and he found a way to still make comics. He still found a way to provide for his family. He rose above it, you know." Then it's an inspirational tale for somebody, anybody, and everybody can use an inspirational tale. That in a small way, Donald DeLay might be someone's hero. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, you know, but who knows? Same thing with Elliot. Elliot, he's had a hard way to go with this art business. To listen to his story, and I was there on the live stream where Evs read his email. EVS read his email. And you could tell that in that email, it seemed like Elliot had reached the end of the road, like he was down, and then EVS, popped into the scene with Comicsgate, and well, I know he said he's not Comicsgate or he's not the leader of Comicsgate. We are Comicsgate, but he by far the most successful one? Question mark. If you count Sack's 2 campaigns, then I would say Sack is the most successful one. But if you count a single campaign, then I don't know how you can argue with EVS and what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And that motivated Elliot. You know what I mean? To get back on, and keep going. And if I'm getting preachy, I apologize. But when people strive to do good, you should commend them, and you should be able to support you. At least, okay, I'm not going to say you, I'm going to say Jimmy. When I see people trying to do good, I want to support them. I want to commend them. I want to shine a light on them, and let other people see. And no matter what's going on in your life, you can get up. You can get up, and you can do this. My dream is to eventually publish my own book. So this is why I'm doing this, and I'm trying to network, and this is also a way of me networking with you guys. So when I'm ready, and I feel that I'm ready, I have a nice network of people that I've talked to, I've interacted to, that may be able to point out things for me, or point out the pitfalls and the traps that they may have encountered while they were doing their own campaigns. I'm learning from you guys. I'm watching you guys. I'm learning from you guys, and I want y'all to succeed, because your success will mean my success eventually. And kind of, and it's somebody else's, and there's people out there. Someone told me today that Pixel Trader, I don't know what his real name is, but someone told me, I think it was Humphrey Bear. Humphrey Bear told me today that Pixel Trader, he did the Indicron website, right? He is going to do a website for amateur artists like myself and some other ones that are probably way better than me, to start posting their work specifically for the Comicsgate community. So that if anybody in the Comicsgate community is looking for an artist, that would be the first place that they can look at to see if there's someone that meets the standards. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool. Kind of like a Match.com site for Comicsgate writers and artists. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. The DJ D Show says you unfollowed him on Twitter and he can't DM you. So, Donald, you might have to fix that, unless you just don't want to hear from him. And in that case, disregard everything I just said.
No, my DMs are open.
There you go.
Anybody can send me a DM anytime.
I think he just doesn't know how to work Twitter. See, and Humphrey Bear has just confirmed that it was him that told me, and he's saying, yeah, he hopes that Pix can do it if he has the time. Yes, a CG version of digital webbing, correct, Chauncey? Or maybe a Comicsgate version of DeviantArt. I like, to see what's going on. And that would be awesome. If he can, if he needs help and anybody else can help him doing it, that would be amazing. Um, and DJ D Show saying nope, nope, and nope. So, are you using the right application, the DJ D Show? Are you on Twitter? Question mark. Let me not make fun of him because hey, I can barely work technology myself. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, um, last chance, last call for questions. If anybody has any questions for Donald or myself, like I said, I do have a Facebook page. I just opened it today. It's kind of barren and empty and looking like a wasteland. I think I saw tumbleweed rolling through it, but it's the same as my YouTube, Ortiz Arts. So yes, another boomer. Thank you, Bitbiter0101. That's what it is. Um, but if you need to contact me for any reason, if you want to get on the show, if you just want to talk, if or whatever, just hit me up at that website. It's kind of hard to deal with trying to set all these things up just on Twitter DMs and whatnot. One of the main reasons I open up that site because Facebook Messenger is always open, so that's always good. DJ DJ D Show is still saying that there's something wrong, and it works to Critias. Do I think Elias might go on Gary's channel after he goes on yours? You know, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I want to tailor make the questions for Elliot, like I tailor made the questions for Donald, and like I tailor made the questions for Critias. Everybody is different, so I don't know what he's gonna do. Elliot is, you know, last time I DM'd him, I might receive a DM from him tomorrow. You know, he's really, really, really busy. Um, and that's why I say it's probably going to happen sometime next week. If it happens, if he likes my questions, because he doesn't have to come on my show, but if he does, I'll be more than happy. So I don't know. I don't know. I like to have Gary too one day, if if he doesn't mind. Gary is an amazing artist and has a great sense of humor and seems like a really, really great guy. And I like the way him and his wife Rhoda interact and work together to make that stream happen. I think it's amazing. I just really like that. But if I can get Gary on, if I can get Elliot on, definitely ASMR artist, you are definitely on tap, sir. And we will make that happen. And when you hit me up on Facebook, I'll just talk with you a little bit, see if I can get a feel for you and see what I can tailor up for you, and allow you to get a chance. I've heard of your comic before. I think you've been on Gary's stream, right?
What's this? What's this Twitter name?
Hey, DJ D Show, what is your Twitter name? Let me add him.
His Twitter DJ D Show. His Twitter name is DJ D, isn't it?
I'm trying to find out. I don't know him. I think he's off.
Oh.
He's on there. The DJ D Show, Twitter.
Cool.
And the comic book ASMR artist said, "Yep, Gary did a promo piece for if we hit 2,000." Yeah, I haven't been on Gary's show a lot because his timetable and my timetable just don't match. Like I like to be on Gary's streams in the evening. It's just too late for me. But I remember that stream, and that's good. That is good. Ladies and gentlemen, I really love interacting with you. I really love talking to Donald. It is 10:19. I have had this man on for an hour and 19 minutes. And I think he wants to get back to work. I think he wants to get back to his family. I really appreciate you guys for joining in tonight. It means the world to me. that y'all took the time out from your busy lives to join me and Mr. Delay. It's very humbling, and I really, really appreciate it. Donald, do you have any last words you want to say?
Just thank you for having me on, man. It was a good time. It was, pretty chill and relaxed, just like you said it would be.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this. It wasn't all about controversies going on and things like that. It was a nice change of pace.
yeah, and I don't want to talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
I want to talk about positivity, man. There's enough negativity going on the news and on Twitter, man. Look, I think the biggest mistake I ever made was opening a Twitter to try to post my art in. It is so much negativity on Twitter. It's
yeah. I
so
don't know if
much.
it's ever gonna change, but it's always good to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
out and have a nice discussion
yeah,
of just random stuff.
indeed. And yeah, my shows. So if anybody, any other artist, it doesn't matter if you're big time like Donald or starting out like Critius.
Big time.
If you want to contact me and you want to be if you want to contact me, you want to be on, you want to showcase your art, you want to pitch your product, you want to just talk about ideas, you know, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to have you, and and talk with you. I really enjoy connecting with you guys and talking with you guys. And I know it's not the same as being face to face, but I try to make it as comfortable as possible. I want you all to be at ease. I just want you to talk, and just have a good time. Just have a good time, man. Because, like I said, it's all about positivity. If someone sees this stream one day, maybe 10 years from now, who knows? And they see the story of Donald, and it picks them up. Hey, man, that's a win for me, and a win for Donald, and a win for that person. You know, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. We should strive to be good brothers and sisters to one another if we can. Some people make it really hard, but if we can. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. You all are greatly appreciated. If you have not hit the like button, please, please, I implore you to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. If you feel that I've done something wrong or if there's something that I can improve on, please engage me in the comments section. In the comments section. My Puerto Rican just came out. I just messed that whole thing up. But it's okay. It's okay. Y'all will get it. You'll get used to my Spanglish one day. Um, hit me in the comments section. I think Donald speaks Spanish by now. He lives in Florida. That's like the official language down there.
I picked up enough that I can get by. I'm not very good at speaking it.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you, Donald. It means a lot to someone like me that you would take the time out to come and talk. And I appreciate the fact that you enjoyed it, and that yep, Jay Campbell just hit me on Facebook. My Apple Watch went off, and is to take the time out to join me and allow me to showcase your book, allow me to talk to you, get to know you better, allow the fans to get to know you better, and I hope that you have a blessed evening, and I wish you success in your book. And
Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate your support. I mean, it's everybody's being so great with their support and showing me their love, and I don't know how to I don't know how to say thank you to everybody.
by creating the book they want. It's what I keep telling Nasser. Let your work speak for you. Stop engaging those people. Just write the best freaking book you can write. Put them boys to shame, and let them stew with envy, because nobody can argue with a great product. You can be mad, you can do whatever, but you can't argue. If the book is better than anything they've published, how can you fight that? How can you dispute that? How can you? How can you dispute something that is hard, concrete evidence? If the writing is superb, if the drawing is superb, if you got splash action pages from left to right, just drawing your eye, that's what made Spider-Man so great in the beginning. The action sequences from one panel to the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love comics, so I get into a tangent. But I think the DJD show agrees with me. Just finished a good book. Your work is your best defense. I think we all feel that way. I think if you want to thank us, of course, continue to engage with us, the fans. Continue to be the person you've been, because we really appreciate your transparency, your honesty, your dark jokes here. So your not so good jokes and your good jokes. But just put out the best book you can put out, man. When it's said and done, that's what we want. Push out the best book, and then next time, push out a better book. you know, just keep striving to be better and keep pushing good work out.
I will.
We are all rooting for you, and we all want you to succeed. We all can't wait to get our hands on your book. I know I can't. I've been waiting for you. I've been bugging you on Twitter. I think most of us have to get that book going, and I know you were a little hesitant because so many books were coming out at the same time. But you know, sometimes you can't help that. That's just friendly competition within the Comicsgate community, and sometimes it just has to happen. But put out that great book, Donald. Put out that great book, and continue to be the genuine person you are. And I think the Comicsgate community will ensure that you succeed.
I will do my best to make everyone happy.
And that's all we can ask for. All right, this is it for real. I hope y'all have a great evening, and I will talk to y'all later. We are now ending the show. Thank you again for joining, and clearly Mike is better. Thank y'all for joining, and we will see y'all for the next stream. I will post on Twitter when that will be and who it will be with. So stand by. In the meantime, y'all have a blessed evening, and till next time, be safe out there.